no horn! What's up, that's Bluetooth, baby!
Yeah, what's happening? So, the plan is today, bosh, get the splitter back on. This, I've had to redo. This, as I mentioned in the previous video, is some stuff from Zerkotech, I believe, called Zerko Flex. And I've had this on vertically, as you can see, for about 14 hours at this point. I even did this little test with Ripper here, just because I wanted to see it. That is an untreated bit of buffalo board, so it's like silicone, kind of less adhesive, and she's held up. She's looking good. So this has been on the board now for, like I say, 14 plus hours. It's time to get it back on the car because I'm bored of looking at it, tripping over it, and damaging this edge, which I carefully did, but I keep kicking it and knocking it on things. So I'm whacking it under the car. Got to move the van, get this under, and then once this is under and I'm happy with it, I've got to do some supports, bits and pieces. Got to fix the rear somehow to the underside of the car. Then I can put the car back on its wheels. I've added additional slippery sliders, just those ones on those sides. So now we've got, I think, 7. Yeah, 7. Should be enough. I'm not putting any more on it. Finished the scan. I've done some other bits and pieces. I'm doing this. I keep saying bits and pieces as well. Maybe it's going to become a thing. Bits and pieces. Fuck it. I'm doing a heat test between a known brand and Zerko Flex stuff because I want to see. I've struggled with this sticking. This is falling off, and this is reflective. It's got a layer of something else, and it's 3M sticky stuff. Here there goes Zerko Flex, decent sheet. So I'm doing a little test to see what the difference is, and oh, I think I should have the mics on. Are the mics on? Don't know if they are or not. Should be. Anyway, if they're not, that's really fucking annoying. Why wouldn't that be on? So it turns out most of what I recorded just then wasn't working because this little blue light wasn't blinking. I'm learning, something to check for, right? Anyway, the point was, I'm testing this Zerko Flex stuff, which is, so I'm told, Formula 1 grade shit. They put it on all the bulkheads and stuff and bits and pieces, and I'll put it on here. I'm also doing a test here. So the plan is I'm using a known brand, which I'm struggling with because it keeps falling off of what I stick it to, which I've heard is a bit of a common thing. But I'll be honest, that is 5 minutes with this heat gun on max. Now I'm going to do a full, might do a short or something, reel or something, minute long, just to explain what I'm doing. But this sort of full chat for 5 minutes on here, this was hot. So I'm basically getting the heat gun on here, putting the dots between those lines there, so it's a standard reference. This is 1.5mm thingy, mild steel, which is roughly what you'd have in your car. And that's about it really. I'm just, you know, seeing as we go. Just trying to do a test just to see what these products are all about. That's not Chinesium. I've got some Chinesium stuff, but it's thinner than that. This is meant to be, I mean, this was, I think, 120 quid for less than a square metre. So it wasn't cheap. That's obviously going to be more money. But what I want to see is I want to see the temperature difference. Now, what I will do is at the 5 minute point, I'm going to measure the temperature of this here. And after 5 minutes with this other brand, this point here was about 80 degrees average. So it gives you a good perspective. I'm going to clean this up so it's exactly the same sort of test. I can then give you a temperature difference or a differential between the tip of the gun, which is obviously our heat source, and difference there, and we get a delta T across that, and then we can see whether it's worth spending your money or not. But I think something that is overlooked a lot is heat management stuff. Yeah, you can put a rad in and all that stuff, but if you're talking about direct heat, radiation, things that are, you know, especially on bespoke builds like we all do, if you've got a heat source very, very close to paintwork, very close to the bulkhead, that wasn't iron brew, that was a really decent coffee. I think we need to start considering it, especially next to carbon. So I'm gonna, if this delta T is good here, then it's going to be really impactful above the exhaust on the carbon bonnet. Anyway, I digress. The whole point of this video is to get this back on the motor back on the ground. I can then fit the scuttle. So thank you. What I'm doing is I'm cutting all these off so it's a bit cleaner, and then just making this a bit better. I was going to slot all this to let the heat go through. I was kind of thinking that on the car, now it absolutely made sense what someone said to me. Oh, look at this. I'm going to put my little neon lights on because I absolutely love it. I love being out here. Whoa! Who's daddy? And then this one here. The difference is mental. Look, watch this. Look. You go like that there. It's so good. I'm so happy with them. It's such a silly little thought, but it helps so much. The point was here, okay, I removed the scuttle, it looks horrific. If I'm sitting in traffic, got my carbon plates here, the fan's on, right? The fan's blowing heat kind of just into the bulkhead. Now it has to sort of go over the back of the engine and out the bottom of the car, or out the side of the car, but everything's closed off, right? You've got your wings, you've got your wheels, you've got your arches, you've got arch lines, you've got everything in the way. My plan was to slot all this side so the air would go through here and out there. But as one of the followers said, thank you very much, I appreciate you, that the scuttle area, because of where the bonnet is straight, it's like that, and hits the windscreen, that creates an area of high pressure, right? Because the air is trying to ram itself over there, so it's actually pushing air in and not. I was kind of thinking that it would rush over nice and gently and then create a vacuum there, so it'd pull the heat out. But actually what it does, and I checked with chat, the air goes over the bonnet, and where it's ramming into the different angle of the windscreen, because the windscreen angle's steeper, it's actually creating a high pressure, which when you think about it makes sense because it pushes air along to the cabin filter, the pollen filter for the fan in the car. So I haven't solved the problem. I don't know. I'm not going to slot it. Don't know what to do really. So that was kind of my plan, to evacuate heat, but apparently it's not a positive. It can create lots of turbulence, bits and pieces, and it can actually force fumes and heat into the engine bay. How much? I don't know. But it's something I can do in the future if it becomes a bigger problem. But for now, I'm over it. I'm so over it. So I'm just going to get it back together, a little bit cleaner. I want to clean all this up because this is absolutely filthy, as you can see. That has got 20 plus years of crap. And I just want to get the car back together, get the lights in, start designing little bits of there. I 3D printed one this morning. It doesn't quite fit right. I think it's my lack of skills in fusion that is holding me back. But it's okay, the more I do, the more you learn. So whatever. But this is obviously, if this stuff on the bench, the Zerkotech stuff, proves to be massively different, that will all get pulled off and I'll put Zerkoflex all under here. Yeah, it's another little job on it, but I've got to save this bonnet from heat, and I probably will extend it to here and to here as well. I'm just sort of worried. I might even do these bits because we've got this, and even though this reduces the heat a lot, it's not enough. So onwards we push. Let's get this fucking splitter upper, and we can have a look at how it looks. And oh, I thought all the lacquer had gone funny then. And then we can have a look at getting it back on the floor. Who's that? Does anyone know who that is? Name in the comments and I will send you some biscuit. And then you hope you've got it in the right place. So I put a little glory hole in here, didn't I? And it looks to be correct. Oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah, stuff's sticking quite well, I'm not gonna lie. All right. pretty good under here. Step into my office. Right, so this is how it looks under here. Right, that's not much to look at. Got me old slippery sliders. That's all the metal frame up there now. It's all lovely. All the cutouts just align perfectly. Trust me, it was more luck than judgment. Now I've got them M8s. You probably can't see up there. That's me M8 bits and pieces there. I need to align this. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of bolts in the front here to hold it up into position and get the rotation on the whole thing right. And then that will position at the back where I need it, because I still don't really know how I'm going to mount this to here. So the plan is just button it up into position at the front. That will then pull me up and it'll give me my yaw, left or right, and then I can finally figure out how I'm going to mount it. A big old slab of steel underneath. And currently it's a conundrum. Don't know how I'm going to do it. I wanted to just simply drill a riv nut, because it's so well supported at the front. I thought I could just riv nut it, put some M6 in. This side I can, but this side I cannot, because where the seam of this is welded, it falls right on that point. And yeah, look, my glory hole. The old glory hole for the pipe. So that's worked out all right. Once that's up tight as well, we're close, but we ain't touching. Plus I've got all this Zerka shield on there now, that should be decent. But yeah, now this is just me trying to figure out how to mount it. Inside the mind of a madman. But yeah, gotta get this rear mounted. This is all front supported. Let's get some bolts in and see where we sit. Gonna do some countersunk locating ones. But right now they look so far off. It's a bit wild to think that that's ever going to fit. But here we are. Luckily, I've ordered some 50 of these bad boys in the past. So thank you, past self. It's very helpful, isn't it? And they come through just about enough. So let's see if we can get this located. And I'm listening to Armin van Buuren's new State of Trance 2026. It's pretty good. So if you're up for something that's a bit vibey, that you can just listen to and get on with it, I would suggest get a bit of Armin in your life. So that should be us. Now what I didn't do, and what I might come to massively regret, is I drilled all of this based on my spare splitter, assuming that splitter was identical to this one. Now it should be, because all the holes are pre-drilled perfect to match standard RS bumper. But I've been wrong in the past, so basically I'm just going to do what I've been doing here, pushing these bad boys through, lining them up, and then I think I've got to take the router to the top side of this, because I think if you look at the front edge, it's going to sit a bit proud. So I'm going to have to countersink this frame, the front edge of this bar, into the board at the front, because otherwise it's going to have that little peephole the whole time. It's going to absolutely gash. So I'm going to route that. I'm going to route away the top side of this until this bar sits flat and that edge, that gap, see that gap at the front, disappears. And then we'll be cushy-bushy. Love this shit. Let's crack on. I'm not going to film you because my battery's going flat. These DJI action cameras, they eat batteries. I need to hardwire it. I think the batteries ain't good enough. So what I'm going to talk about is the splitter standoff. This is tight, and you can see light from behind, and that's because of the, I'm going to say the forward bars, the bars that run towards the front of the splitter. The weld and stuff on them is a bit chunky, so I'm going to now mark this where I think it's really hard to see, and then route the top of this board on the inside to let that slot right in, which is obviously going to be horrifically scary, but I have to do it, otherwise this is not going to sit flat, and the whole point of this is to look as clean. I'm trying to just show you the bar, but it's really hard to show you this support bar. Anyway, it's sitting proud that much, so obviously it's got to go down that much. So I'm going to attack it with the router now. I'm going to drop it off. I mean, that is going to be fucking solid. I've also got a couple of vertical braces to go inside here to pull that up. So this is all going to be, I mean, that is really fucking rigid now. So the whole point is to not have this. Yeah, so the whole point is pulled up there, and also that needs mounted at the back. But the point is that this isn't mounted to this. This is mounted to this, but it's supported to the crash bar. Because what I don't want to do is, this is now rigid, as you can hear, on the metal bar. I then didn't want this mounted to this to then create this downforce. I want this to be sandwiched to this, but this is also independently supported to the chassis of the car, which is solid mounted. This is solid mounted, that's solid mounted, the whole thing is solid mounted, so it's just rock hard. Like proper Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tough. Although I've been watching the Hulk Hogan documentary, pretty cool. He was my hero as a kid. But yeah, so that's the plan. So now I've bolted it all up, I'm going to go and get the ratchet, the Milwaukee ratchet, because I'll be honest, unbolting all this bullshit is really, really boring. As it looks underneath, it's looking pretty decent. Oh, actually, while I'm here, I'm going to pilot those holes at the back. But yeah, I've got to route that. I didn't really want to route it. I thought I'd avoided it because we've grinded it all down. But here we are. And I've got to put those. I've put bolts and nuts in the front here, but I might have to do it. We'll see when it's done, how it sits. But for now, that's all. Got to go get the router out. Anyway, let's go. I don't know why we're whispering, but it's fun. Let's whisper. It's between us, it's a secret. Yeah. The day I decide to get slightly outside the garage, it's fucking raining. Anyway, it's getting serious. I've got all the boys on. Got the big boys' toys. This scares the living shit out of me. Well, I hate it. Anyway, we've got to do it. So the plan is mark it up, drop it off. I've got to drill the back points before I drop it, and then I won't show you that, it's boring. And then we can zip this around, hit it with the router. Bosh, we're done. Get it back up. Hopefully it's going to fit nice and snug on this front edge. That'll be gone. Then we can just bolt it up and be done with it. Yay! This is the bit I'm shit scared of. So, noise cancelling, goggles. I've done my marks where it needs to be. I'm just going to route it. Is this a good idea? Because it's a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. What are you doing? Oops! Chess! This is still... Got to check for this now, no? This is still absolutely kicking my tits in. I have been on this now till 3 days. Now, the next challenge that I see... Sorry, I was over there like that. It's a beautiful day today, look at it. Anyway, I'm laying under the car again. Some weirdness in the street today. Anyway, I have routed this out. It looks horrific. Horrific. Because the router's very good, but I don't trust the router. So I'm holding it really straight and it fucking pulls to the left and pulls to the right. I honestly don't really know how to use a router. But it scares the bejeebus out of me. Now, it would seem, even though I've chonked this bit out here, let me do that. I've chonked that out, that's about 4 or 5 mil. Even though I've done that, you'll see, it goes up, there's still this fucking gap. Now, had I known this gap was still going to be there, what I would have done, in hindsight, is fix that up tight, like that, and I would have put a bead of silicone around it, just called it a fucking day, because I'm at the point now where I don't give a shit what it looks like, because this metal frame seems to just putting it off. Like you can see there, look, the metal frame underneath that tube just holds it off, just ever so dear bit. So what I could have done was got a little bit of something to put around this front edge and to sit, and that would have been it. You know, it's like every time you're trying to do something, you're trying to do it for the first time, aren't you? So you've got to learn, kill all this time, but you just want to do a good job. So I'm going to put Almond back in here, State of Trance 2006 playlist, 3 discs, it's pretty decent. I'm going to crack on, but what it needs me to do, which I don't want to do, I think it's going to take too much strength out of it. It probably won't actually, but what it needs me to do is, when I've started to draw a line here, is basically route where this tube goes here, across the front of the splitter. But what I'm really thinking is tighten it all up and write a bead of mastic around it and just call it a fucking day. I'm always trying to do the best thing I can do, but that's maybe not the right thing to do. Because I know if I put the router and it wants to do it, I need to do it in this metal bar, which is right up close to where you'll see it. I'm pretty sure that router's going to move and I'm going to fuck this up. And you know, one of those things where you think, I wish I just stopped and didn't do what I thought I was going to do. I'm going to fuck this up. I think I'm going to fuck it up. So I'm going to think about it for a little bit longer. I'm going to butt it all up again tight and see where we sit. And I'll probably be back on in 10 minutes to say, I'm just going to leave it as it is and put a bit of silicone around it. I'm going to show you this bolt. This is for the back of the splitter. One bolt here, one hole here. I'm going to riv nut it. Another one over here. On this little wishbone thing. Now, I think Ford made their older cars out of old battleship metal. It is so rock hard, and I've had to basically go all those different drill bits, plus cutting fluid, giving it the big boy as well. And I've had to go in 0.5 millimetre cuts to get it to that stage. That has taken me, I don't know, 35 minutes to do one hole. It is so fucking hard. Same as the crash bar on the front. It is so tough. I don't know whether it worked hard. Maybe it's really soft or something and it works hard really quickly, builds up heat or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But it is insane how hard it gets. But anyway, I've just done this hole here. So the plan is now, where are you? Is to get a sneaky riv nut in it. Like that. Sorry, my hand's in the way. But before that, I'm going to, obviously, because I'm anal about everything, I'm going to deburr the edge, and then I'm going to spray some rust inhibitor on it, because that's the way my brain works, and I've got to just soothe the itch that says do it properly, you bastard. So here I am, doing that, and I've got to do another one, so that's another 35 minutes, cutting that. Oh, I've got this little bastard here, he keeps catching my elbow, and ripping my ears out. Look at the pipe, son. Look at the pythons. Guys, I've absolutely had it up to my fucking neck with this splitter. So I have made an executive decision after trying to route it out and doing a really not great job. I've got really close to the edge and I'm scared. I am going to just give it the old RWB special. I'm going to just do a line here and here. It's got that much of a gap. And I'm going to take that, silk flex it in the middle, or black silicone or something. I am fucking over it. I've tried to do a good job, tried to do the best job and get it to sit like a ham and cheese sandwich, but it won't have it, so I've given up. That's it, just letting you know, I've given up. It's beaten me. I can't route that close. That's how close I have to go. Oh, the fuck was that? I have to go all the way across right here, and I ain't got skills for it. So I'm gonna put some paint in there, whop it up, do that, call it a day. It's actually a really, really nice day as well, and I just like stuck in here again. doing this fucking splitter, which you know I'm going to smack on a curb day one. But anyway, you know, it's for the aesthetics. It's going to look nice. Lucky we love this shit, because it does kind of feel like insanity most of the time. But I've tried. Anyway, that's it. It's me justifying it. I've tried. I've done the best I can, but I'm going to have to RWB it and put a bit of around it. You know, when you just had enough? Had enough. But it's all mounted on. With the old glory hole. See, that's how I wanted it. All the way around. Nice and tight. It's a bit gappy here. And then it's nice and tight there. But here we are. I've had enough. I've done so many hours on it. It's ridiculous. I've made a proper mess. And that's as good as it's going to get. To be honest, I think when you're because it's so low, you're probably not going to notice it. So what I'm going to do is put it on the ground. Not right now. You'll see it right now, but I ain't doing it right now. So I want to go in for a nap. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm going to just slam it on the floor. And if I'm still really angry with this little gap, this little finger, it's like a baby finger, I'm going to silicone it. But what I might do is just get it on the ground, focus on some other shit, walk away from it for a couple of days, and if it still irritates me, then I'll do it. But we need to have it on the ground, don't we? We need to have it outside, on the ground, see if it's looking presidential. Because if it ain't, then it was all for nothing. I think it will look good. So, this is going to be the last time you see it on the stands. The next time in the video, I'm going to be doing some, like, beautiful little shots around the car. All, you know, sexy and cinematic. But for now, this is it. This is how she looks. That geezer on the motorbike was absolutely having it, wasn't he?
The next morning.
I've got 7 minutes and 13 seconds of footage left. Better get this done quickly. She's finished. The splitter's finished anyway, at least. As far as I'm going to take it. I completely lost the will to live on this one. But I think it looks good now, look. That's how it looks now. We've got all the old scuff splitter sliders underneath. Goes all the way to the back. It's all bolted up. We've got the heat shield that's stayed stuck, so that's nice. This gap's still pissing me off, but I'm going to lower the car on the quick jacks now. That should be that, I think. Get it outside and do a nice cinematic walk around. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that finally. You know, fucking hell, talk about a labour of love. I thought, again, I would knock this out in a day, maybe a day and a half. Okay, I've been doing other bits as well, but bloody hell, this has been painful. And to not have this final tight seal there, it's quite irritating, but I don't think anyone noticed it, except for me and you guys. But we'll keep it as a little secret. Also, look, you'll notice, I can't zoom in. That's all falling off again. It's all sort of delaminating and falling off. You can see it's got so dusty from me cutting all the wood, so I'm going to need a proper engine bay blowout. Need to fix the scuttle, because that's still hanging. But you'll see it, look, just one finger, I can flex the whole car. So that is more than adequate for what I need. And if you push down on here, this is really fucking solid now. So that ain't going nowhere. Of course this is sacrificial, but let's hope I don't sacrifice it. Looks good though, I'm happy with it. It's quite funny because the car's always up on axle stands. I forget actually how terribly low it is. Like, it's the roof line's below nip. Ooh. But yeah, I thought I'd show you. I've got all these plastics to sort, because this has got to go back in. I've got to clean all this up. This is the grille to go back on. You know, the standard, that one. No, it's not the RS one, and it's for a specific reason. But it doesn't matter. I think I've explained it in ground video. No one gives a shit. Right, it's low. It's low. I'm going to get all this unconnected, and then I'm going to do a little je ne sais quoi, a little walk around. I've got to be quick, it's just started raining, what are the fucking chances? But look at it. Guys, I've just took it outside and look, it has fucking pissed it down. It hasn't rained for ages. It didn't even look like it was going to rain, and now it's pissing it down. But what I will show you is this. That's pretty sexy. Anyway, I can't do any walkarounds because it's pissing with rain, and I'm really not up for just the car just getting disgustingly wet for no reason. Don't really know why it's idling so high. But I think it's just because it's getting hot. It's warm up. It's warm up. We're all getting warm. It's actually really cold today. That's why I've got a little neckerchief on. And I don't really know why it is running so high. What I wanted to do is I wanted to do a little battery voltage check today, because I've got this Wasp alternator thing, and so I'm getting distracted. I've got this Wasp alternator thing, and it's really pissing it down. The chances of that. I wanted to just check to make sure through the rev range the output is good, but I can't check that right now.
Remote horn, what's up, man? Bluetooth, baby!
And this is going to be the end of the video. I thank you very much for watching. We're going to do a proper walk around, maybe a midweek video, just a little like cinematic thing. And then next week, I've got to take, well, this week, I've got to get this outside, take all these off, get the windows working, because it's going to be hot in here in the summer. I've got the windows to do, I've got the door cards to refit properly, because all this is shit. I've got the door pockets to stick on because I've got literally no storage or nothing in here. Not that you should have storage in a race car, but whatever. Bits and pieces. So there's loads of bits to go on. I really would like these flocked as well. So I've got to take the dash out because there's loads of wiring that needs to be deleted. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you do, like it, like it. If you do, really like it, maybe subscribe. And if you really want to get involved, maybe write a comment. But all of that is optional. You don't have to do anything. Thank you for watching. Love you all, and goodbye.